Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to Pink Hat Photography. We're doing things a little bit differently today. It's been a while since I've done a fundamentals video, and I tend to get kind of rambly with fundamental videos, so I have a script. So this is going to be completely new. Here today we're going to unravel the secrets to elevate your photos from great to good. Did I really write that? With 10 fundamental rules of composition. So these are things that are going to help you greatly improve your photography, you guys. Whether you're a beginner or you're looking to really refine and sharpen your skills, these tips will transform the way you see and capture the world. Let's dive in. So the first rule is simplification. The magic of simplification cannot be underestimated. By focusing on a single subject and minimalizing distractions, your photo will tell an entirely new story. As you can see on the screen, I've got a photograph of Ariana. And the way I achieved simplification in this photo is I kept the background, everything behind her, kind of bokeh out by shooting at f2.8. For those of you guys who want to know more about bokeh, I have a video about it right up there. And so I blurred out the background, but I also kept the background really uncluttered and refined, and you can tell a really powerful and amazing story with a simplistic approach. Simplicity is about finding the essence of a scene and then showcasing that subject as simply as possible, compared to something a little more cluttered like this photo right here. Another one of mine, it tells a different story, but there's a lot more going on in that scene. Next, we have filling the frame. This rule encourages you to get close to your subject or use your zoom. I've been using that 24 to 70 Samyang f2.8 for a year, or more than a year, almost 2 years now, and that was game changing. But basically, you want to fill the frame with your subject to create a more intimate and impactful image. It's all about making your subject undeniable and eliminating unnecessary space. Now, when you compare that to things like the simplicity photo that I just showed you, it had some empty space. When we get into rule of thirds, you'll see a lot of empty space. The point is the frame is filled with Ariana's two eyes and some of her face. You can see the contours, you can see the makeup lines, you can see her eyes very clearly and the catch light in her eyes. You can tell that I'm using two Neewer 660 RGBs just by looking at the reflection in the eye. All of it is right there. It fills the frame completely. So the next one is horizontal. Horizontal lines suggest stability and tranquility. Landscapes are a classic example, where the horizon line helps to anchor the image and guide the viewer's eye. It's perfect for capturing the grandeur of wide scenes. Now, as you can see here, I did not go with a landscape. Instead, I got Ariana laying down. Horizontal is really, really important when your object is wider than it is tall. So when someone's laying down, you're trying to get a really cool landscape photo. You want to capture as much of the scene as possible, but you got mostly empty sky. That doesn't really matter all that much. So that's generally the time and place where I'll use horizontal. Conversely, vertical composition brings a sense of height and majesty. It is ideal for capturing tall subjects like towering trees, skyscrapers, and waterfalls. Vertical lines elevate the viewer's eye and can make subjects appear more imposing. Now here, we've got Ariana in a vertical. Again, vertical is generally used when your object is taller than it is wide. Sometimes I'll use vertical to get a photo of a subject laying down like this photo right here, but primarily I use vertical in a portrait sense, whether it's a close-up headshots or full body like the picture of Ariana. The rule of thirds is perhaps the most well-known composition rule, and it's also the one that I dislike the most. Imagine your image divided into 9 equal segments by 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines, like a tic-tac-toe board. Placing your subject along these lines or at their intersections makes your photo more balanced and visually compelling. Now, with Ariana in this photo of rule of thirds, I went horizontal and I put her head at the bottom left intersection. And that created a lot of empty space. So it's a mix of simplicity, horizontal, and rule of thirds. It's a lot of fun to use rule of thirds, even though I really don't like it all that much. I prefer the golden ratio. We'll do the golden ratio in another video. It's a little bit more complex, but the rule of thirds is a compelling image maker. It truly does balance an image and draws the viewer's eye in a way that I can't really explain why it does it. It's super, super interesting. Look at me going off of script. Framing. Framing is a powerful tool to draw attention to your subject. Use natural or architectural elements to create a frame within your frame. This not only highlights your subject, but also adds depth and context to the image. Now, as you can see in this photo right here, I actually just had Ariana use her fingers to create a frame. But if you're hiking, you can see frames made naturally with tree branches, rocks. If you're taking photos in an urban environment, archways, doorways, and window frames also work. I've also seen people take wooden frames and just take the back out of it and use those to create a frame. But here I just used Ariana's fingers. Contrast. Contrast is key to creating striking images. It can be in color, light, or subject matter. High contrast grabs attention and guides the viewer's eyes to the focal point. It's about playing with opposites to create visual interest. In this image here, I used light and shadow to create that contrast. You can also create contrast with color, as different hues have different contrasts. Orange and blue, for example, yellow and purple, red and green are all different colors that contrast each other. When you're shooting in black and white, you're using different hues of gray to create that contrast. So you want to know hues of gray as well as the color wheel if you're trying to create color or hue contrast. So the next one is leading lines and shapes. Leading lines and shapes guide your viewer through the photo, leading them from one element to another. Roads, pathways, or architectural lines can serve this purpose, creating a journey within your image. Now, the photo I did is I used contrast created by red and blue stripes. So I just changed the lighting to create these red and blue stripes, as well as the leading lines created by the brickwork. And all of those point directly at Ariana. It draws the viewer from the left side of the image to the right side of the image. Symmetrical balance is visually satisfying and can be incredibly impactful. It involves mirroring elements on either side of the frame. This balance creates a harmony and a sense of calm in your photos. And as you can see, I did that with Ariana here. But not only did I balance her symmetrically by slicing her face in half with one of my grid lines, but I also balanced it with the lighting and the shadow work. I wanted to make sure that the lights did not overly contrast one another on either side of the other, and I wanted it to be as balanced of an image as possible in lighting, design, and subject matter. So next we have asymmetrical balance. Finally, asymmetrical balance. This is about balancing elements in the frame that are not identical but have equal visual weight. It is a more dynamic and complex form of balance, often resulting in more engaging and interesting compositions. Now, I did that in a number of ways in this photograph. I'm going to start with the lights and the colors. On the left side of the image, which is the empty side of the image, it is just red. Now, slowly that red, as it transitions over to Ariana, becomes more of a purple, and then the shadow created by Ariana reveals the blue light and the red light, creating a more complex and contrasting image on the right side of the image. It unbalances it with light and color. I then placed Ari on the rule of thirds on that right side, which created even more imbalance in the image, as the left side is completely empty and void of any subject matter whatsoever. So that created an imbalance in the image, or an asymmetrical balance. And there you guys have it. 10 foundational rules to guide your photographic composition. Now, I may have gone off script a little bit, and I hope that's okay. This is all new to me. But remember, rules are meant to serve as guidelines, but not strict mandates. Experiment. Break them once you understand them, and most importantly, have fun capturing the world through your lens. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pink Cat Photography for more photography tips and tricks. Until next time, keep shooting, keep creating, and I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.